So today I'm going to show you how you can mill multiple units on a single CEREC block. On my AC screen you can see that I have a just a two-surface inlay on a Vita trilux size 14 block, and I'm going to go ahead and mill this restoration in my block, and after I've done that I'm going to show you how you can mill a second restoration so long as it fits within the block inside the same exact block. So I'm going to get this thing started here, and I'll sign back on after this first one's done. Okay, so my first restoration is just about finished. Just cutting off the sprue right now. Just let that happen. Alright, so the first one's done. I'm going to show you what the block looks like. Alright, so it kind of looks something like this. So you got a lot of material left, and it has these little wings on either side where it was milling it out. Now you can take this to a model trimmer or use a really good burr and cut these off and flatten the surface to be able to mill your next restoration. So you just want to flatten that whole surface. Like I said, a model trimmer or a ZR type burr. Cut that as flat as you can, which I'm going to go do now, and then we're going to put it back in the milling chamber and mill out a second restoration. Okay, so I just trimmed off the wings of my Vita trilux block here, made it flat as I could get it, and what I used was just an electric hand piece with this really high grit disc from Axis. I'm trying to see if I can get you the number on what I used. Here. Is that right here? If this will focus. It doesn't look like it's going to focus. Anyways, the number on it is G9007. Or you could just use a model trimmer or something like that, just to get it flat as you can get it. So now I'm going to go take this block and go stick this in my milling unit and mill out another restoration on the same block. So let's just put this in. Tighten her up. Alright, there's my short block that I tried to flatten out. Close her up. Let's go over here and mill out another restoration. So as long as it'll fit, so in this case I'm just going to use the same exact one because I know that one should fit. So I'm going to just hit start milling because you have the same block selected already. Just trying to keep it going so that you know that I'm using that same block I cut off. I'm going to hit start milling here, and we'll go back to our milling unit. There's my same little short block in here that I trimmed off. The machine thinks it's a Vita trilux size 14, but it's really short. So we'll let this, I'll keep taping so you can see that it actually does start milling here. So right now it's just measuring the sides of the block and the mandrel. Now it's actually measuring the length of it. Alright, no errors. Went straight to the milling process. You see, it's still that short. It's that short little block that I put in there. Going away. Pretty short milling process on these MCXLs. A minute and 40 seconds. Just to remind you again, you got to have the MCXL and the 4.0 software. As far as I know, I haven't tried this on a compact unit. I know that it does not work on 3.8. We've tried it a few times, but on 4.0 works just fine. We've tried this on the new Lava Ultimate block, Emax, Vita, Empress. Seems to work on just about every single block. So. Okay, my milling unit just finished the second restoration here, so I'm gonna open it up. So the second one, moved that thing all the way to the nub, just about. So that's about the size of the restorations you'll be able to fit in there on a 14. Thing here, and the other one is put into my model, so that's how you do it. So that's a better view of them. The two restorations that fit inside the single Vita block was a size 14. Didn't say the size on it anymore, but it was size 14 and fit two small restorations inside that. Probably not going to be able to do two large crowns inside of a block, but for inlays and onlays, should be able to make that work just fine. Just keep in mind, remember this is on the 4.0 software, or 4.02 rather. That's the software that is on this machine. Let me just show you what. So you see, actually this one's still on 4.01. So that's the software version I'm using on this machine, and works just fine. We tried it on 3.8, it did not work. So those of you still got the red cam unit, might be worth looking into upgrading. So, alright. Oh, I forgot to tell you a couple other things. Sometimes if you don't get your block after you mill out your first restoration, if you don't get it flat enough, sometimes the restoration, it will basically air mill the very first little tip of your restoration here, and then your margins are going to be open or your contact's going to be open, one of the two. What you can do is just, use your tools to move your restoration. Just move it back just slightly, just enough like this. You don't want to move it out too far because then it's not going to have enough room to mill the whole thing. Just get it back enough, because you're never going to get that thing completely flat. And that way when it starts milling, it'll basically cut your block flat for you and then start milling your restoration. So just one thing I forgot to tell you.